What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me for today's video. This video is going to be my thoughts on Season 4, Episode 6 of The Chosen. And I'm going to kind of recap from my last video to where we are now, and then talk about the theme that I think is prevalent in this episode. It seems small and integral, but it is very big. Okay, so the theme I'm thinking that's going to be prevalent throughout The Chosen Season 4 is that, well, it's not prevalent, it's there, is Judas's dissension into betrayal. And up to this point, Judas has been the most difficult disciple to deal with in The Chosen so far. You had Simon Peter's and Matthew's little issues. Then you had the passing of Rama in episode 3. But since his joining of the group of the disciples, Judas has been kind of um, entitled and shows how he was spoiled. And he's a good contrast to Matthew in a way. And what I'm thinking about episode 6 of season 4 is that we get a glimpse as to how Judas is out for himself and the ministry of Jesus he does believe in, but he is believing in the financial um, potential that it could have. He believes that Jesus can heal the sick, do all the things that he claims he can do, but he's not excited about helping others. He is looking forward. He's looking for cash revenue and riches for this service. Basically, the best way I can describe it is he basically is viewing Jesus and his ministry as a show. So here you see this is where Matthew finds out that there's change missing from the collection purse for the ministry. And at the end of episode 5, it shows, again, spoiler heavy for this video, it shows Judas putting some money into his pocket for himself. As his mentor that he had before joining the ministry, he talked with him and he said that he should be being paid for his work, his skills and such. And Judas then agrees with that. He takes the step into sinful ways and steals money from the change purse. And here we see Matthew discover that there's money missing as they're looking for something to get Thomas, as this is the um, festival of dedication, or also known as Hanukkah. And a tradition of Hanukkah is you get it's Christmas based. You get others gifts and such. I think you get one person gifts if I'm right, and Matthew and everybody wants to get Thomas a pair of sandals. So here is Matthew checking on the change purse to see if there's enough to cover a pair of sandals. So here we go with that.
Matthew?
Huh? Uh, is there another purse?
Ask Judas.
Yes.
So now Matthew's gonna go chat with Judas about the money missing, and this confrontation between the two. It's very aggressive to watch, as Matthew is, you can see he's known to struggle with anxiety and fitting in with people and talking to people. And in season 4, Matthew, I think, has developed a lot. And he's now finally finding his voice and his courage to help with the ministry. So him going to Judas now to discuss this change plus is a big step for Matthew, and Judas just isn't having it. So let's see what that's about.
We want to buy new shoes for Thomas for his gift.
He has vegetable tan sandals imported from Cyprus.
Yes, but they're not made for walking.
Then he should trade them in. He could get 3 fully functional pairs with that barter.
We set aside money for gifts.
For gifts we can afford.
When is the other purse?
What are you talking about? There is only one. From Joanna.
No. But there has to be another. I went through it, and it only contains half of the shekels Joanna sent.
Yes, we spent them on the inn. It's a lot of people.
So here you see Judas is getting defensive, and I think Matthew knows what's going on. Matthew is very smart. I believe Matthew is smarter than Judas. And Matthew, I think, is the smartest, most intellectual disciple, in my opinion. And here he can read between the lines. I love what Matthew is thinking or making a intellectual discovery. His eyebrows, you see his forehead gets a little wrinkly, I guess you could say. You can see that he is seeing what's going on, and you can see Judas here. He's getting more and more defensive and upset, which is an indication of deceit and trying to hide something. And Judas is also, he's very temperamental. Um, Due to the finances of the ministry not being allocated right or collected right. As I said at the beginning, Judas is out honestly to make money and profit. He says it's for the kingdom, but ultimately he wants it for himself. So he's getting very upset with Matthew right here, and it gets a little worse from there.
And a lot of rooms. Some on food, then the gifts.
No, I've done the math, and it does not add up. I know what the allotted amounts were.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Do you want to take over keeping the purse? It sounds like you think you can do it better than me.
I'm not asking for your job, Judas. And that is something I would like to leave behind. But facts are facts. Numbers don't just change just because I've directed my attention elsewhere.
Maybe that's where you should keep your attention. People's lives are at stake, Matthew.
Lives?
Our people have been waiting thousands of years for this moment.
I'm aware.
We're on the knife's edge of history, Matthew. The Messiah is finally here, and we're moving so inefficiently and slowly that we may very well run out of funds before he can even spread his message.
There's the crux of Judas's issues. He said that he might run out of funds before he can spread his message. He just thinks that the gospel can be spread effectively through money, through having a lot of money. He can do more with the ministry, Jesus can, and things can be done more, he said, more effectively and quicker. He says that the ministry is moving slower and stuff like that. Judas is trying to get money to where the ministry is successful, which is not a bad thing, but he's doing it selfishly because he wants to make profit as well. He's being very narcissistic here, telling Matthew, well, if you think you can do my job better, why don't you do it? And Matthew's like, I don't want to do that no more, which, again, growth of Matthew. And then Jesus like, then stay in your lane, Matthew, basically. I'll handle the purse, you handle writing the gospel, or writing your book you're writing about Jesus. Let me handle the finances since you don't want to do it, and leave me alone. The next part is right here, which Judas is thinking about, again, how to make money, how to raise money, how to make the ministry more effective and efficient. And that seems that's been Judas's goal and thinking about ever since he joined the ministry. Literally, anytime Judas speaks, it's about money. What can he do for money? What can be done to speed along the process of the Messiah? but you can't speed along what God is ready. What God wants to do, He does in His own time, not based on how you want things to be done. So here, Judas has a plan, and he wants to talk about the plan. And you'll see that the disciples really brush it off, don't care about the plan. He kind of throws a little hissy fit. So you'll see that in a minute.
I have an idea. What if we set up donation points in the various villages that we visit?
Who would manage the funds abroad, and how would they get them to us?
In every place we've gone, Jesus has made a special connection with someone, sometimes even hundreds. We could collect upon visitations.
I still don't get it.
We could appoint a person in every village who could spread the word to others who believe in the message of our rabbi. We could tell them that if they want to support the work of the Messiah, they can, by gathering aid so that he is well supported the next time he makes it into town.
How would you vet their character and trustworthiness?
Ask for references, letters of recommendation.
Yes, but if Jesus was worried about funding, don't you think he would have set up something like this already?
If we had something like this set up already, then we wouldn't be thrashing and winnowing wheat ourselves. We could just buy flour at market.
I, for one, am enjoying learning about the process of how it's made.
Manual labor feels good when you've been sitting around a lot, doesn't it, Matthew?
No one? Really?
We've bought flour at market before, Judas. This just isn't one of those times.
In the words of Kohelet, for everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. This is a time for us to make the flour ourselves.
So you see there, Judas got upset because they said no. So he's like, really, guys? You don't think it's a good idea? So he's basically saying that where Jesus has gone so far, he should have someone that he's impacted take up collection there and such. Basically, it's like, hey, Jesus healed these people, let them work for the ministry by collecting there. And I guess they meet up and get the collections. I guess I don't know how that'd work. I don't think Judas thought it through. He's just ambitious and trying to make the ministry as easy as he can on himself. And he is coming from a good place. He's trying to help make the ministry good, make it more effective, things be done to where the 12 and Jesus have time to spread the gospel more. And again, A for effort. He's thinking right some, but like I said, in the background of all this, he's looking for personal gain as well. And spreading the gospel is not about being efficient and quick and having a lot of money, and it's about doing what you're called to do to spread the gospel and to know that things in life are important and shouldn't be taken for granted. Like here, they are, I think they're making flour, they're sifting wheat and doing stuff like that, and they're learning how, like Matthew said, he's enjoying the process of making flour, and he's enjoying learning more, and it's just spreading the gospel. You worry about interactions and such more than making money, and you see here Judas is just mad. So, and one thing here is like, look, this is little James right here. Let me go back. Let me go back to little James so you can see his face. There we go. There we go. So little James, if you don't know little James, he has a deformity to his lips, and this is big as well. Him here, he's talking about how much he's enjoying the work and learning and the process of ministry. And you saw towards the end of that clip that he started to limp and stumble. That's showing that this task is taking a toll on him, but he wouldn't trade it for anything else. He enjoys the work, he enjoys the ministry, and he's not out for the money like Judas is. That's why here Jesus is he's like at a hillside and watching sheep get ready for a market, and Judas comes up with a chat about the state of the ministry, so and financially. So let's see what that's about.
Vern, Maeve, Sonny.
He calls them by name. I have sheep and shepherds on my mind. Is there something on yours?
All I want is to see your kingdom come.
Well, it's, that's quite a conversation starter. I want that for you, too.
I want everyone to. And I want to remove any obstacles that stand in the way of that.
Obstacles.
Limitations, barriers. Whatever your vision isn't. And I know it's beyond my wildest dreams. I want to make sure that you're never held back by not having enough resources. You told us to be as gentle as doves, but also wise as serpents. Is this not wisdom?
Has Joanna's donation run out?
Oh, no, but we're getting close. With the holiday celebrations and the gift giving. I was thinking we could set up donation points in the various villages that
You're
we
right.
visit.
My vision for the world is bigger than you can dream. I want you to pay close attention to my sermon tomorrow.
So you saw there that Judas, this made me laugh a little bit. He talked to the disciples about, hey, this is my plan. They all say, no, we're good. He goes to Jesus, basically Father, like Dad, they won't agree with what I want. Basically, he went to Jesus to try to get his approval, and basically undermine all the disciples and try and get under Jesus' good side, not good side, but get what he wants from Jesus himself, which you can see does not go according to plan. And here Jesus is watching sheep go to the market, and then once they've sold the market, they'll probably go to the slaughter. And very good imagery there, lamb before the slaughter, crucifixion. Jesus said that sheep and shepherds are on my mind. What's on yours? And Matthew says money. um, and Jesus told um, Judas. Jesus told Judas, "Pay attention to my sermon tomorrow," which is when they go into um, the courtyard, which I'm gonna pull up in a minute, and they will get into a heated debate with the Pharisees, which is interesting in itself. I thought this image right here was, well, this portion right here was significant in my opinion, and very foreshadowing, because you have Judas in the foreground and the Pharisees behind him out of view. He knows they're there, and I think that he's interested to see what they're gonna do and say, and he's just kind of in the middle, just wants to see what's going on. So that's a kind of foretelling right there. Is he knows it behind him, but he's not like scared, or he didn't jump, or and he just looks very unhappy there. I think he does love Jesus, like I've been saying, but I think he does regret following him due to the financial implications, because his financial status and financial happenings is what makes him, that's his wheelhouse basically. It's money and nothing else. Money is his God before Jesus, as it's known by the betrayal. So I just thought this image right here was very interesting of Judas and the Pharisees behind him. So that is that one really quick. And then the last one for this video is the talking point of the video.
of them do you stone me? Good works. If you've done any, that's not why we're stoning you. It's for blasphemy. Because you, being a man, make yourself God. You call me a blasphemer because I said I am the Son of God? You utter such a thing shall be punished by death according to the law of Moses. You know little of the law of Moses. Oh, someone get the temple guard! Ask him!
There it is. I mentioned in the beginning of the video where I think that Judas is going to. This is where he sort of started to think for himself more than before. At the beginning, at the end of episode 5, he took the money from himself, and here in this episode is when he starts putting himself first. I think right there, Judas dodged getting hit. Why that looks like he's trying to get out dodge of stones and stuff. Jumped out of the way. I'm gonna show it again. You see, he dodged that out the way, and that's where Big James got hit in the head. He wouldn't look back behind him to see what they were doing. I guess he saw Judas. I don't know. He got knocked in the head. Right there, he's looking at Jesus and looks at the Pharisees. And while Nathaniel's comforting, I think it's Nathaniel. While Nathaniel's comforting Judas, Judas is not really comforting him back. And he's focusing on, well, this is what's going on, really. And probably Judas again thinking about money here. He's probably thinking that if we had more protection, we wouldn't have had the situation. He started thinking for himself now. After his conversation with Jesus, Jesus said, "Hey, listen to the message tomorrow." And this message here that he had before. Let me go back just so you can see the picture. The message here is about his coming death as sheep, good shepherd, and how a shepherd's supposed to keep his sheep, protect his sheep and all that, and how he's a good shepherd, this, that, and the other. Judas is not paying attention. He's focusing on, basically, in my opinion, he's probably focusing on how to do better for himself, if it makes sense. So, Judas here, I believe he is now really focusing on himself, on how he can help the ministry, on how the ministry can be better. Basically, he wants to see how the ministry is, how he wants the ministry to be at his standards. He went to Jesus and said basically, "Hey, you said wisdom is necessary. Well, this ain't wise." So one, that's very brash and bold to do that. Go to Jesus and say, "Hey, what you doing is not smart." And then he's going to continue to try to do that, I'm assuming. And I'm just guessing by the end of the season, this is when Judas is going to betray Jesus at the end of the season. And then starting season 5, it's going to, the crucifixions will probably be at the end of season 5, and then season 6 is going to be the resurrection. That's what I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure, though. Because Judas is getting very upset very quick over money. And I thought originally that Judas would betray Jesus at the end of season 6, because 6 is the number of evil. And then season 7, the final season of the Chosen, would be Jesus' resurrection and such, as 7 is the number of perfection. But I'm honestly unsure if they're going to wait to do that then or start the betrayal process at the end of season 4. And then season 5 will be all about him before Pilate, this and the other, and then it's very interesting. What they have a lot they can do with this. The story of Judas is getting very much more impactful and important here, and I'm looking forward to see where he goes. But like I said, I think this here is the beginning of him focusing on himself and putting himself before Jesus a little bit. So let me know what you think about this in the comments. If nothing else, have a good rest of your day, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one.